7. To the Racing Point memes, miners of points and makers of bad YouTube videos. Milky Cereal was dreaming happy, race-winning thoughts under his custom-made Incredibles blanket that can definitely not be confused with a towel, and then suddenly, he came up with an idea. I have an idea! Milky worked tirelessly through the night in search of creating the ultimate meme. A meme so powerful, anyone watching would shit themselves. What if... Wait, no, not that, oh my god, ugh! But what if Milky sandbagged in qualifying under the guise of wanting to start on hard tyres to have an entertaining race?
Entertaining race.
Entertaining race.
Having completely screwed Mr. Matt over due to betraying Haas and joining Ferrari, we now get ready to set our race strategy, which is weird because you've got to change like your second tyre stint so that you can put hards for that first stint. Okay, so as you saw, we're not starting at the front of the grid, not because we didn't have the pace. Oh no. It is because we want to start on the hard tyres, so we try to get as close to the top 10 as we can, and we managed to get P12. On these hard tyres, it means that we can do a one-stop strategy, which will take us to the end of the race. We can go hards, mediums, or if there is a long safety car, we could even go for hard softs, which could take us to the end. But without further ado, let's take a look at the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship, because in the Drivers' Championship, courtesy of our win at Canada, we now have, well, let's say a rather nice lead in the championship by 35 points over J-Mart. And then Techno is just behind, but we expect Techno to be jumping up soon. And then you've got the Racing Point memers of Jojo and Jay Daly, who are still kind of learning how to drive. But it is very close in that battle for second. We're talking about 13 points separating second to fifth. and then you've got the likes of Tygorn, Gorn, and Vita Scaletta. Meanwhile, in the good old Constructors' Championship, of course, Haas are dominating after, well, myself not being present for 2 races and a rather slow start to the season for us as well. We've got over 50 points to the Racing Point Memers, and then you've got Duna and J Martz. And I think we're expecting Mercedes to climb up the order as well. But yeah, that's the Drivers' Championship, that's the Constructors' Championship, and now it's time to get in for the race. 27 laps here at France, at Circuit La Baguette. And we are starting outside the top 10. Will our strategy pay off, or have we made a bit of an oopsie daisy?
Come on, what is your piece?
As you'll be able to hear, we have a Techno and Reed in the voice comm as per usual, so you'll be hearing them feature at various points. But we stare at the red lights, 5 on, well, in front of our face, and they go out, and we are racing here at the circuit Paul Ricard at Le Castellet. And it's not a great start, but it's an alright one considering we started on the hard tyres. We move over to the inside, nice and late on the brakes, and we go down the inside of the Red Bull. Careful not to run into Tygon as we get a little touch at the side and we just let the car out go. We let the car go out nice and wide to avoid it spinning. Got a bit tongue-tied and the safety car comes out. Now we don't do a Spain and run into someone. We just slow down and make sure nothing happens. But the Alfa Romeo behind us hit us, and we get a 5-second time penalty for that, which is it's a bit of a shame, but it's a 5-second time penalty. You do what you have to do, and at this point, I was just talking with Techno. You know, what kind of strategy do we want to do as well? To be honest, here I think just hitting and going mediums to the end is probably the best strategy. Either way, a few guys do jump into the pits. We get promoted up to P8. Duna up ahead is the only man on mediums, and at the end of lap 3, the safety car is coming in. Now, we drop it down into first. Our front tyres are nice and warmed. Our rear tyres are not. So as we get on the power, that rear end has a little bit of a moment. We use our ERS and we are lining up the Red Bull as we head it down into towards turn 1 on the 4th lap of the Grand Prix. Nice and late on the brakes, dive it down the inside, and well, on the exit we might have squeezed Duna a little bit, but I think that's okay, and the rear end is all over the place as we're just fighting to get that power down in our Haas. Lap 4, there's a VSC, and Techno decides that's the moment to pit, to put on mediums, and he's got one more stop in the strategy. I think that's a good point to pit using the VSC. Bit of a 50-50, as the softs probably could have got to about lap 9, but there you go, VSC will end and we are about 8/10 down on the delta, or up depending on how you look at it, and I think it's about 6/10 by the time it ends. So we're just playing it safe, we're not trying to risk it too much. We're 2.3 seconds behind Daly, could have been almost 1.5, but that it is what it is. And on lap 7, the race leader, Razor, he comes into the pits. That promotes us up to P3, and we are still just over 2 seconds behind Daly, which, and well, now Gorn as they battle for position, which is pretty good considering, you know, the fact they're on softs and we're on hards. Lap 9, we're really closing in onto Gorn. We run a little bit wide through the long right-hander, but we're right on the back of the Mercedes. What will Gorn do? And again, everyone here seems to just take the wrong line through that left hand, and the same thing goes for Gorn, as she just turns in way too early. We're on the inside for the penultimate corner, and Gorn decides to bail and dive into the pit. Probably the right call at that point, so as not to lose any more time. And lap 9's a decent lap to pit. And now it's just Daly up ahead, just over a second. And on the very next lap, we are now within striking range. Again, everyone taking the completely wrong line into this corner. We get the better exit, but we don't get the better internet connection. And Daly holds on to the position. But he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming, and he dives into the pit. And now we find ourselves leading the Grand Prix for the first time. We've got ourselves a nice little gap to some of the medium drivers behind us, Vita Scaletta. And on lap 15, the sun has now come out. It almost looks like a completely different race, but it is the same race. The sun came out, and we are 11 seconds ahead of a Techno. And we decided to dive on into the pit.
No!
And of course... What?
Ah! You were the chosen one!
So Techno's very sad because Matt DNF'd at this point, but it meant that there was a VSC. So we got to serve our 5-second time penalty in the pits under VSC, which probably saved us a bit. I don't know how much time we would have lost as a result, maybe a second or two anyway.
Yeah, I know, right?
But it helps us a little bit. I think if it wasn't for that 5-second time penalty, we would have come, well, we definitely would have been ahead of Razor. And we're actually negative on the delta, so we have to slow it right down, and I think we lose, you know, a good 1.5 seconds. It's really surprising because now Razor's 4 seconds up the road when he was less than 2, so he must have been very green on his delta and was able to push through turns 1 and 2. Either way, on lap 18, we now close up to Razor, who is on hard tyres, and actually trying to go to the end of the race on these hards. So, DRS, ERS, in Rich as well, will look for the inside. Razor doesn't defend, and we brake a little bit too late. Of course, we have DRS, so we should have braked a little bit earlier. But we get it stopped, and now we really need to push because Techno's trying to close in on his two-stop strategy, so we can't give Razor too much DRS. Although, as I say that, I did actually knock it down into lean a bit, and I should have pushed a little bit more. We start lap with 19. Techno hasn't pitted yet, but we're up into P2 now as some of the medium tire runners, they've pitted, and the gap is almost a second, but Razor's going to get DRS once again from us just because we didn't push enough. On lap 20, Techno is pitted, and he's going to drop down the order. He actually comes out behind Daly in P5, but his mistake was he put on softs. Meanwhile, on a lap at 25, we got ourselves a nice 6-second lead over Razor, who's on very, very worn, hard tyres. But for us, it's been a little bit casual, and starting on the last lap, we'll do what we always do, which is just have a bit of a rundown of the race. Techno's climbed up to P3 after Gaunt had a little bit of a moment and dropped down the order. Techno, I think he could have got P2, but he pitted onto the softs instead of pitting on the same lap as me and pitting onto the mediums. I did offer to Techno to pit on that lap, but he decided against it and wanted to pit later and go for the softs. So I don't think the strategy was the right call, and I think he pushed a little bit too hard to try to get a faster lap and beat my fastest lap instead of just focusing on the race and getting ahead of Razor. But yeah, it's been a bit of a chill race again. Public service announcement, guys. Stop being so boring with your strategies. I mean, just do, like, all of you guys going for soft tires, it is by far the worst strategy to start on those soft tires. Like, just qualify on the mediums or on the hards. It doesn't matter even if you're starting outside the top 10. The tyre strategy is just so much better, but for us, we can't really complain. So yeah, we're coming through the final couple of corners, and it's just been a clean and uneventful race, really. We got to make some overtakes. Let me know in the comments as well if you like me to start from the back or just start from like P11 at Austria, and we can have some fun races. Anyway, here at Le Castellet, Paul Ricard, we will take yet another win in the European Racing Series, Tier 4. Okay, I'm really confused. What? How am I not driver of the day? What the fuck? Fuck off!
Just there to tell you.
Do I have to start from literally last?
Yes.
He even started ahead of me, I think. What the fuck is that bullshit?
Yeah. We only had, each of us only had 1 3-second time penalty.
He started 2 positions behind me and I finished 4 positions ahead of him. So, Vito Scaletta is clearly scripting, but that is the end of this race. It's Haas 1-3. Once again, Haas are on the top step, as they have been for pretty much the entire season, really. If you haven't already, do drop a like and subscribe. We also have career mode videos going out, and I'm trying to do, you know, 1 career mode video and 1 ERS race every week. Also mention as well, Discord server is popping. You can find the link to that down in the description below. And if you want to watch these races live as they happen, unfold in real time, it's Tuesday evenings, and you can see all of that at twitch.tv/milky073. And the final bit is you can follow me on Twitter for all of my commentary stuff, whether that's on Formula X Racing or League of Legends shenanigans. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, stay milky and assalamu alaikum.